All right, we've been talking about the killers of relationship, and we've looked at a lot of beautiful things. And this morning, we're just going to kick off and see how to tidy up. By next month, we're going to start something completely differently. Hallelujah. Completely different, sorry. Now, we're looking at number 4, unresolved trauma and resentment. We said that one of the things that kills relationship, that takes the joy, that takes the beauty, that takes the strength out of a relationship, is when we have traumas and resentment that is unresolved. Now, I'd like you to understand that experiences are parts and parcel of human existence. It is impossible to go through life without having to experience certain things. Sometimes these things are negative. Sometimes these things can they can come in a way that can be very damaging. Now, all of these things are the things that we encounter as we go through life. Life is not a bed of roses where only good things just happens. No, as we journey through life, we will meet good things, we will meet the wrong things, we will meet the terrible experience, we will meet all of those things. But sometimes these negative experiences impact on us. I defined trauma for you last Sunday. Let me give you the definition again. I said traumatic experiences are experiences or events that has left an imprint in us, thus shaping our decision, our choices, our beliefs, and our behavior. These things, they have left an imprint. They are usually past experiences, mostly negative. Sometimes we also have a positive experience, but when we're talking about trauma, we're talking about negative experiences or events that has left an imprint in us, shaping our decision. They're shaping our decision, our choices, our beliefs, and our behavior. And so when you see people talk, speak, or act in a certain way, especially when those behaviors are not healthy, oftentimes they are coming from somewhere. There's no random attitude. Every behavior, character, attitude is rooted from somewhere. And so when there are negative attitudes, when there are negative behavior, you have to begin to trace them. One of the things that this thing does, these traumatic experiences, is that it reshapes your view. It alters how you see life. Some persons don't know how to move on from negative encounters. Now, there's a wide range. Time will fail me to begin to list and categorize these experiences. Could it be heartbreak? Could it be loss? Could it be pain? Could it be abuse? There are many negative experiences. There are certain kind of misunderstandings we even have in marriages. Maybe those conflicts lasted for a season that leave those, and oftentimes when they leave this imprint, you can carry them and not even know that these things are in you. Somebody can be traumatized and not realize that they are traumatized. It will take you to know what trauma is. It will take you to know how it manifests its effects, to understand and know that, hey, this is my attitude. I think I'm the one, but something is wrong somewhere. People don't know how to move past bitter experiences. Sometimes when you ask them, they feel, well, I think I've moved on. But when you begin to examine and x-ray the attitude that follows, their behavior, their pattern and mode of speaking, their perception about life, you understand that something is wrong somewhere. So this morning, I'm going to show you a few things to help you so that you would know my attitude, my behavior. Are they just random or something is wrong? Am I going through any form of trauma? Now, the truth is, there is solution. There's a way out of it. But first, before we talk about solution to a problem, we need to identify the problem first, look at the root cause of the problem, and then we'll begin to find our way out of that. Is that not true? And so, irrespective of the things that you have experienced, first, let me build this before we start looking at some of the effects. Irrespective of the challenges, maybe you had an encounter and maybe you were molested. Maybe you had an encounter and somehow something happened and you trusted someone so much with your heart, trusted them so much, and they took it for granted. Maybe you experienced a major loss. You can remember a certain time in your life when something was so dear to you, but you lost it. Maybe somebody who you held in high esteem did something and you are like, oh my God, and it shattered you. However, these experiences are, however they happened, irrespective of the time, it is expected that you learn the art of moving on and letting go of negative experiences. Otherwise, they form and shaping your world. They become the reason and the basis for which you act, talk, and behave the way you do. They become the basis for which you interpret life in a certain way. So sometimes, let me use very popular statements. When you see a lady tell you men cannot be trusted, it is not because she read it in a book. It is not because she heard her friends say it. If you check well, she has had an experience somewhere that though maybe she might have heard that men can be trusted, but she has an experience that has proven to her. And so when you see her argue, she can argue it. She can stage you. She can convince you. She can bring facts and proofs to make you understand that this thing is true. When you see a man tell you that women are this, if you see these things, these talks, this kind of conversations, they are coming from a place. Something happened somewhere. And so it is not the will of God. It is not the will of God. It is not the purpose of God that your life, that your behavior, that your attitude is shaped by the happenings around you. The Bible said, yea, ye are more than conquerors. So you have to learn. So all of these things, when they happen, if you have not learned how to deal with these experiences, they can hold you bound. It's like a man who is in a cage but does not realize that he's in a cage. Let me give you a picture. There was an experiment that was carried on a long time ago, and it was discovered and it was told in time. And so let me share it. It was told that if you get an elephant, and elephant is meant to be very big, but you get the little one, maybe the baby, I've forgotten what they call the name around it. You get the baby elephant, build a cage, and put that elephant. Now the problem is, though the elephant is supposed to be a gigantic animal, if you leave that elephant in that cage, over time the elephant will take the shape of the cage that you have left it. Also, when you tie an elephant to a particular spot and then allow it to move a certain step, maybe there's food in front of water, before it eats that food or drinks that water, after some time it becomes psychological. That before, even when you remove that rope, the elephant will still move in that certain distance that you have kept that elephant for long. Now, this is true. And so sometimes when you've been through these experiences, if you have not learned to heal, if you have not learned to identify it and come out of it, it shapes your character and becomes like a cage. It becomes like your prison. It becomes how you talk. It becomes how you reason. It becomes how you feel. It defines everything about you. And sometimes it can alter your ministry. It can alter the purpose for which God has called or created you. That's how serious this matter is. Are we following this morning? Very important. So what are the effects? Let's look at some of the signs. Okay, let's look at the signs first before we look at the effects. What are the signs? How do you know that this is what is happening to you? Oh, I thought I've moved on, but obviously I haven't. How do you realize? Number one, you notice that you are often very guarded. There are certain persons over a certain matter. The moment you bring that matter, they don't want to hear what you have to say. There's this guard up. This is how they see this matter, irrespective of what you have to say about it. So when you see that you are often heavily guarded over a matter, there are people who can't trust. It doesn't matter how you behave. They can't trust. There are people who can't love in a certain way. It doesn't matter how you are nice to them. So when you see this heavy guardedness in you, you are overly protective of yourself, overly and extremely protective is a sign. Number two, sometimes you feel detached from the world and from yourself. You can't go through a month without feeling that you are alone. You can't go through a month without feeling this emptiness and void on the inside of you. You can't go through a week. You can't go through a season without feeling this. Sometimes you cry. You can't even tell. Why are you crying? You can't tell. But you just know there's so much thing. There's just this thing locked up on the inside of you. You can't explain it. You can't touch it. You can't figure it out. But you know you feel it. You know it affects you. 1 minute you are happy. Other minutes you are just sobering. You feel detached. You see, that detachment is a sign. It's a sign that something is wrong. Sometimes you feel quite distant from the world. You feel you're just there, but you're just distant. You can't seem to be in touch. What is worship? If they are worshiping, you want to connect to worship, but you can't just flow. It looks like there's a barricade. Sometimes you come to church, you hear the word, but something in you cannot just open up to it. Sometimes people do something well for you, but something in you cannot really absorb it. I don't know if we're getting the point this morning. There's this barricade you feel on the inside. It's a sign. Number three, you're always on high alert. Very defensive. Always on high alert. Every time you are so defensive that you can't take corrections at all. When people talk to you about a wrong or correct you about something in you is pushing and resisting it. You don't have the capacity to resolve it. Do you know why? You want to preserve yourself. No. This is not, no. There's this thing because, sometimes you feel like, the only way that you will get your self-worth, the only way that people will hear you, the only way that you will make yourself known, the only way that you will make sense, you will matter, is when you get defensive. And so you can't be spoken to. You can't be talked to. Let me tell you something. Fear yourself when nobody can tell you the truth about you. Be worried and be concerned about yourself. Somebody wants to talk to you, but they are afraid. They can't tell you how things are. Those who are married, your husband can't correct you. He can't tell you. So everybody around you has to bottle up how they feel concerning you, just so that they make you feel good. So you have a friend, you have a brother, you're in a relationship. They can't correct you. The moment they bring correction, you have 1,001 reason. You have 1,000. No. You see, the reason this thing is like this is because of this. Let me tell you something. The moment you have excuses for your weaknesses, you will never come out of that weakness. The moment your mind excuses you, though the reason this happened, or the reason I spoke like this, these people, they are usually, so check their life, check history. Something happened somewhere, maybe where they were undertaught, where they were underrated, where they treated them maybe in a way that they felt undeserved. And so from then on, that thing came up. So everywhere now they go, every encounter, every experience in their marriage, you can't tell them they want to defend and protect themselves. But the truth is, this is no strength at all. The next one, there's a constant need for reassurance in your relationship. There's a constant need. The person constantly has to remind you, your partner has to constantly tell you that you're amazing, has to constantly reassure you that I'm with you. Sometimes you've seen this happen where you see people in a relationship and you see the man always suspicious of the woman, or the woman always suspicious of the man. Who are you with? Where did you go to? Who did you call? Who spoke to you? Who this? And sometimes you're like, I'm not doing anything. It's just you and I. Are you sure? So you have to constantly remind them in that marriage, in that relationship. You have to constantly say it, constantly tell them, I love you. You know this one. You know that. Anytime you're not saying it, something is wrong. They feel it's not enough what you're giving. They don't feel self-sufficient. They don't feel, okay, I'm loved. They always feel, have you seen people that anything that happens, they tell you, I'm not loved. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. I'm just alone in this. Have you heard people talk like that? And what happened is that somebody did not greet them. Maybe they came to church and there were two persons that walked in church, but maybe unfortunately the greeter smiled and clapped for one, and maybe for God's So you see, I came to church. Greeters did not even welcome me well. Nobody cares about me. Nobody loves me. I'm just alone in this world. God will not even send. You see those kind of. Now, the reason they talk like that, something in them is driving for that reassurance. They want to constantly hear that, you are this, you're important. You are this, you are this. You're that. Now, I particularly have to raise people who are like, every time you have to let them know. It's not like this. Are you not saying that this is a misunderstanding? This person did not do it like this. It was not constantly. Everything that is done to them makes them feel they are not accepted. Makes them feel they are not seen. Makes them feel you're not visible. You buy something, you didn't package it right, so you don't care about me. That's why you did this like this. I'm not important to you. That's why you woke up and forgot to greet me. Constant need for reassurance. The next one, you struggle with self-worth and constantly think negatively. When you are going through trauma or have any atom of it in you, or are traumatized by an experience, you notice that you're going to struggle with your self-worth. You're going to constantly think negatively. Your self-worth is that feeling, that positive build-up on the inside, that positivity about yourself. Many times derive from the word. But sometimes, these things, many persons don't derive it from the word of God. They want to derive it from the things around them. They want to build their self-worth from what people say to them. And this becomes a problem. You notice that a time will come, your thoughts will be filled with negativity. Why this is important is that it is not possible to live life without issues and challenges. So constantly, every time you go through certain problems, they are just going to be damaging your worth. Making you feel you're not good enough. Making you feel you're not deserving. Making you feel you're not accepted. Making you feel that these things around you, everything around you makes you question your identity. Do I really belong here? Am I really supposed to be here? I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not tall enough. I'm not cute enough. I'm not broad enough. I don't have enough. I don't have this. All of those things. There's a deep questioning of your self-worth. Are we following this morning? The next one, you have serious difficulty in navigating through conflicts. There's what we call life stressors. Life stressors are things that comes with stress, that puts us on an edge. Now, normally, humans, we are equipped with the strength and the capacity to navigate those things. But when you've gone through trauma and it still has a deposit on you, you can't navigate conflicts. Every time you see conflict, it causes a major relapse. You can see people shut down because of a misunderstanding. A simple misunderstanding that could have just been resolved lightly. They shut down. They are crying. They are heartbroken. They are feeling terrible. They are just so offended. They are just so angry. They feel all of those negativity. A little offense that we can sit down. They start attaching. Have you seen? I've heard somebody talk in this manner. A disagreement happened and they disagree. And the person says something like, the reason why you are arguing with me is because I'll never hammer. Now, they attach a false meaning to simple things. Because I don't have money is why you're arguing. Even if you have money, people will still argue with you, three of us. But for someone who has this as a problem, they see that this is the reason. Is it not because I did not dress well? That's why you saw me and passed. You notice that sometimes when people dress well, we can see them and pass consciously or unconsciously. But they attach these things like that. The reason is because they are struggling with conflict resolution. You don't know how to deal with issues when they happen. Praise the Lord. The next one, there are a lot of them, but I'm going to stop here because of time, so I can touch other things. Now, there's an uncontrolled anger and sudden outburst. Uncontrolled anger. When you see people get angry, there's nothing you say that enters their ear in any way until they've borne out. If their anger will last for 1 week, what you have to say does not change anything. Oftentimes, check where that thing is coming from. There's something underneath it. So when you notice that you have this anger that is excessively uncontrollable, you notice that there's this sudden outburst. You can just stand, just start shouting. What is wrong? This, that. You can just stay and just start crying. You can just stay like this and you just wake up one day and you don't just feel like doing anything, going anywhere, seeing anybody. Why? You can't tell. Sudden outburst. Sometimes you can just wake up. You were smiling. All of a sudden, 2-3 seconds, something just changes your mood and you're so bitter. You start seeing everything wrong with your life. You start seeing all the things that you should have done that you have not done. You start seeing all the places you should have gone, you haven't gone. And they alter your day, alter your week. You can't function. When these things become frequent and excessive, there's a sign, or there might be chances that you're going through trauma. Are we following this morning? And so what to do is that you will begin to ask yourself questions. What exactly? Is there an experience? Is there something that has happened? You have to trace it. We've seen people have underneath cause for their trauma and not know it until they sit down to begin to analyze. They begin to check. Sometimes it can be something that happened when you were growing up. That every time you meet something, it reminds you. And that reminder just changes everything for you. It could be in a way that you were spoken to that you have forgotten. And somebody speaks to you in that manner. So it's not about what the person has said. It's that it reminds you. Are we getting it this morning? So you are going to trace that. And let's look at the effects. What are the effects of this thing? Number one, you're going to suffer from emotional disconnection. Emotional disconnection. There are persons who cannot have a healthy relationship. They can't maintain. What is emotional connection? Just emotional disconnection is distance from people. You can see somebody very close to you now and things are just going. The next minute they just cut off. For no reason. You've not done anything. They've not done anything. They just cut off like that. In the case where the partners are married, you can see a husband and a wife. Whoever is suffering from this now, you can see the person maintain silence in that home for like a week. He doesn't even talk to the partner. Anything the partner does, doesn't say anything, doesn't talk, just disconnects. So though the person is physically present, but the person is emotionally absent. And so this is one of the effects. Number two, there's a communication breakdown that constantly happens. They can't maintain a healthy conversation for long. They can't. But I already showed you the other part because little things makes them feel in that way. So you can't speak with them 1 week and it's all joy. It's impossible. It's impossible. Sometimes you can say something and it was a joke. And for them, that's a trigger. That's a trigger. They just zone off. They don't talk to you for the next 3 days. Sometimes when they now find they want to pick up from where they started. But it doesn't always work like that. People are not objects. You don't drop them and pick them up at any time. It doesn't work that way. The next one, they have trust issues. They have trust issues. You see things like jealousy, suspicions, and all of that. So if you are in a relationship heading for marriage, you notice your partner is always and constantly making jokes of suspicions around you. This one you are laughing like this. Have you met somebody else? They look like joke, but it's a symptom of something very terrible on the inside. This one you came back so late. Where did you go to? Did you branch somewhere? If you post somebody, who is this person? The way two of you stood in this picture. What's going on? They can't see you smile, shake hands. People, funny enough, people marry people like this. People marry people who have very serious trust issues. And their life becomes a nightmare, a living nightmare. The next one, there's intimacy challenges. For those who are married, it becomes difficult to maintain intimacy with your partner. Intimacy, somebody defined intimacy as into my partner. It becomes difficult to be in that state. Very difficult because of all of these experiences. Sometimes there's a way your partner holds you. It starts to remind you of some things. How this one happened, how that one happened, you just disconnect. There's a way your partner talks to you. It reminds you of how something happens. You just zone off. There's a way your partner cuddles you. It reminds you of this. You see, all of those things happen frequently. Now, there's flashback and there are triggers that upset the peace in that marriage. You have flashbacks, you have triggers. Sometimes you just start remembering some things, how this happened, how this person did this, or how the experience did that, how it started, how it left you. You have those things happen often. You have triggers. You can see something and it reminds you of it. You can see something else and it's reminding you of it. Those triggers, sometimes they are frequent. Sometimes they happen once in a while. The next one I'm trying to run, we have anger and irritability. You're always angry. You are always irritated, always angry, always irritated. Have you seen people who you can tell that they are never happy? If you catch them happy, their happiness cannot last. They are constantly having mood swings. See, when we teach these things, please, I beg you, open your ear, find where it applies to you, and begin to deal with this. Constantly have mood swings. If you are in church this morning, you cannot sustain your joy for at least 2 weeks without something is wrong with you. You need to deal with it. You can't be happy straight up for 1 week, for 2 weeks. Say, is it possible to be happy? It is possible. It is possible. If you're not experiencing it, something is wrong. That's what I'm trying to help you find this morning. That's what we need to do. So when you find it, you can attack it. You're always angry. There's something that annoys you. You're always irritated. Everything is pepper body for you. Everything is annoying for you. Somebody does something, you are irritated. Somebody does, you are annoyed. You are angry. You're offended. It should be like, you see, these things are not healthy. The next one, there's avoidance behavior. This is a flight mechanism. There are some persons, when something happens that reminds them, they just stay away. They can be there for 1 month, 2 months. They are just there. They avoid people. Somebody once told me that I don't really know how to keep a relationship for long. It's a very, very serious and a heavy weakness. When you get married, how are you going to keep your relationship for long? How are you going to do that? So there's an avoidance behavior. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be on my own. I don't want to, in fact, I'm not going to church. I just want to stay indoors, lock the door. You are a human being. You have to learn to associate. Locking yourself indoors is not a solution to a problem. It is never a solution. You just stay there and wallow in all of the things that you wallow in. And that's not helping you. Are we together this morning? And so sometimes for parents, this also impacts on parenting. Some of us can attest to it that we saw our mothers raise us and project all their insecurities on us. We saw our fathers raise us and project all their insecurities. You see a mother look at a child and tell the child that you are a waste. And giving birth to you was the wrong thing that happened to me, was the worst thing that happened to me. These are things you see certain mothers tell their children because of the things they had suffered. And I've heard a story of a mother who had a child, and at the point of the delivery of that child, the father of the child left her and just went. And so every time she took out her anger on the child, the reason I have an unfulfilled destiny is because of you. The reason my life, if I didn't give birth to you, my life would have made more sense. The reason your father left was because you are a cursed child. Now, this is somebody's experience I'm sharing with you. Now, how would this person grow up and be normal? So sometimes we say, but if you don't deal with some things, you become those kind of parents. You become those kind of parents. Some parents, the way they protect their children, you call it protect, they don't allow the child talk, think, or say because of their experiences. They carry it and they project, and the child suffers for it. The child goes through hell. Imagine you are a woman, you've not dealt with anger, and then you give birth. You will beat the hell out of your child for every slightest provocation. That child will suffer in your hand. Because every time you're angry, it's a slap. Bam. Every time you're offended, is a knock. Your children will suffer. It impacts on parents. I told you, I used to say something. I said, the things that you refuse to improve on yourself, I said the people around you are the ones that suffer for it. Your husband, your children, your wife, your children, your family, people around you suffers for those things. They're the one that suffers for it. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. And so let's look at a way out. How do we deal with this experience, there are a lot of things. Go and study more on them. Number one, dealing with traumatic experience. This sounds simple, but the truth is that if you understand this word, it's the one who tells somebody never give up. It looks like what everybody says. But the day you understand the truth behind that word, something changes in you. Number one is let the past go. Let the past go. Help me preach to two people. Tell them, let the past go. Tell the second person. Can you preach to yourself and tell yourself, I will let the past go? I don't like, you're not saying like you're serious. Tell yourself, I will let my past go. Let the past go. The past is the past. There's nothing you can do about it. It has happened. Oh, it breaks my heart that it happened. But my sister, my brother, it has happened. There's nothing you can do about the things that has happened. You can't change it. You can't alter it. Sometimes I know it breaks hearts. Why does this or why did this have to happen to you? I understand. But the truth is, it has happened. See, you have to come to this point of truth and realization. They abused me. Yes, you have been abused. He walked out on me. Yes, he has walked out. She broke my heart. Yes, the heart has been broken. The past is past. It has happened. You can't travel back in time to change it. We don't have that strength. We don't have that capacity. God didn't give us that privilege. And so the only thing to do about the past is to do what? To let it go. Let it go. Wake up every morning and let it go. Why are you acting like? Why are you talking like? That is the past. Let it go. Let it go. I remember that then when this happened, and you start crying. It is the past. Let it go. Help me tell your neighbor again, let it go. Let it go. Let me run because of time. Number 2, I'm going to have somebody read for me. I got a message from the media. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. I'll give you my phone. TPT. The 3 other ways is here. Let me show it to you. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. TPT translation. We're talking about how to deal with traumatic experiences. We've looked at number 1, and I told you number 1 is you should let the past go. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. If you have that translation, you can read. But if you don't have it, then just pay attention while I read for you. Now, verse 7 says, okay, it says, pour out. Can we read it together, church? 1 to go. It says, pour out all your worries, all your insecurities upon him, means upon the Lord. Pour it out. He said, after pouring out, do what? Leave it there with him. Leave it there with the Lord. Some of you come to the altar and you cry, oh God, this, that, and you weep and you finish, you're feeling empty. You don't know that's healing that God has begun in you. But the problem is after 2 days, you collect the thing back. You remember something that happened, you start crying from the top again. The Bible says, leave them there. Leave it. Leave it. God cares. He's going to help. He's going to do his work on you. But pour out all those worries. Pour out all the insecurities. Talk to them. Talk to the Lord about it. Sometimes you can come to for counseling. This, that. He pains me here. He pains me here. He does me like this. He does me. But after that, leave them there. So number 2 way of dealing with trauma, pour out your worries to the Lord and leave it there. Don't go taking it back. Don't go thinking about it again. Don't go picturing it again. Don't go seeing it again. I remember how he made me feel. Remember, you don't need those things for anything. Let it go. Leave them there. The next one, that's number 3 way of dealing with the verse 8 tells us number 3. Please run because of time. Verse 8 now. Can we read short together again? 1 to go. It says, be well balanced and always alert. Now, when you have all your worries and you are left them, now the Bible says, be well balanced. What does it mean to be well balanced? Get the required knowledge and information. Get the required knowledge. Start learning how to be happy. Start learning how to maintain your joy. Start learning how to see the self-worth in yourself. Be well balanced. As you do that, he said, then stay alert. Be alert. He said the reason is because your enemy, the devil, he still will roam around that area of your life. He still will come around. Sometimes when you see that when he sees you're fine, your mind is doing well, he pokes you. You know, have you had an injury before? And then it's healing. It's already started scarring. And then you were just walking and you bump into something and it scratches it. Have you ever had that? It's very painful. So he says, stay alert because Satan can do that. When he notices all of a sudden you are now healing, you're praying better, you're being happier, you're seeing things for a better. That one sister will just come from nowhere. From nowhere. Not just when you say I was just on my own, no. From nowhere and just do one thing that takes you back. But that's why the Bible tells you stay alert. So when you see it, you don't go crying again. You remember, oh, Satan, this is you. I'm fine. I've left this address. I no longer stay here. I know that this is you. I know you came to mock me again. You came to remind me of my pain or my shame again. You came to remind me of where I used to be, but I no longer live there. I've moved out. I've packed out. And so you don't feel it anymore. So the Bible tells you. So I've told you the next one, stay alert. It says, incessantly looking for a rhyme. Because of time, just go to verse 9. Let's look at the last one, then we'll wrap it together. Verse 9, it says, the next one on dealing with this is be firm. Be firm. Be firm. But being firm is with faith. Be firm with faith. I will show you. Verse 9 says, take a decisive stand against him and resist every attack with what? Strong, vigorous faith. Take a decisive stand. This thing will no longer control me. These things will no longer determine my joy. This thing will no longer tell me how to behave or act. I will no longer talk to people. Take a decisive stand. I'm healing, I'm healed, and that's it. It is settled. Don't go healing for 1 week. Then go back for 2 weeks. You will make no progress. Don't go feeling better for 6 days. Then go back again. Be firm. That's why it gave you a 2. He said with faith. I'm fine. I'm healed. Even when you don't feel it. I'm healed. I'm no longer like this. I'm no longer afraid. I'm no longer bound by these shackles. I'm worthy of love. I deserve everything good. You take a firm stand. If you don't do this, you will keep moving round circles. See that tears? It will never finish. Have you noticed sometimes there are certain kind of pain you enjoy talking about them? You will talk and talk. You tell anybody who is this. No. The Bible said, take a decisive stand against him and resist his every attack with strong faith. The Bible said, for you know that your believing brothers and sisters around the world, they experience the same kind of troubles you endure. What it means is that other people are going through these things too. It is common. It is not to you alone. These things happen. It's part and parcel of our life and our living and our existence. Why do you think like this? You commonize it. Or this is why me? It happens to others, so you just don't know them. So there's nothing special that is only you. There's no problem of life that is peculiar to only you. It does not exist. Are we following this morning? Now, these things, if you apply them, my prayer for you is that whatever it is that is holding you bound in your mind, your heart, that is determining your life but wrongly, I declare freedom upon you all in the name of Jesus. Have you been blessed this morning? Can we celebrate Jesus?
This message is brought to you by Cloud of Witnesses International Ministry, COWIM.